Hey, what's going on, guys? What is happening, YouTube? And thank you for tuning in. Today is Tuesday, so we're back with another episode of Side Hustle Tuesdays, and you are tuned into episode 65 of Side Hustling. So I have a question for you guys. Do you have a favorite inspirational or motivational quote? If so, what is it? Drop it in the comments section below. Many of my favorite quotes come from guys like Jim Rohn, Les Brown, Art Williams, among others, but one of my particular favorites is, if you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much. Jim Rohn. So what does this have to do with Side Hustle Tuesdays, you ask? Well, inspirational or motivational quotes is actually what today's Side Hustle is all about. Today's story features a college student who turns a concept he used to motivate himself into a profitable business that motivates the masses with quotes on sticky notes. He's turned down a career in finance to pursue his side hustle. Michael Russo was going to college just outside of New York City. He had his sights set on a career on Wall Street and had an internship lined up with Morgan Stanley. However, he's decided to put that on the back burner to pursue his own side hustle. So when Michael was in college, he had a packed schedule. On top of taking a full class load, he was also involved in a number of extracurricular activities. He was constantly tired and overworked, and he needed a way to motivate himself and keep going. Now, this kind of reminds me of another Jim Rohn quote, and I'm going to butcher this one as it's coming from memory, but it goes something to the effect, when someone tells me motivation doesn't last, he says, neither does bathing, but I'm still going to do that every day. But that's how Michael motivated himself. He would scribble post-it notes with motivational and inspirational quotes and phrases. They were on his house, his car, they were littered all over the place around him, and he jokingly began calling them sticky quotes. Get it? A play on sticky notes? And that wound up spurring an idea to put inspirational and motivational quotes on sticky notes. And it's not really a surprise to see why this became so popular. If you look at something like Instagram or Pinterest, it is full of motivational quotes and memes. So it's not a far leap to see that this would be a profitable business. So Michael's first step was to validate his idea and his price point. He took 6 of his favorite sticky note quotes and made a copy of them on paper and put them in a copy machine and cut them out. He went around to fellow students and asked them 3 questions. Number 1, what would be too expensive for these? Number 2, what would be a fair price for these? And number 3, what would be too expensive for these? This gave him an idea of where his price point should be. On a completely unrelated note, at his college they were having a business competition. Michael entered, and to his surprise he won. The grand prize was $5,000, and he used this money to print his first batch of sticky quotes. Now here's what's so genius about this idea. We often talk about how Alibaba suppliers are difficult to communicate with, the order minimums or MOQs can be restrictive, there's untrustworthy vendors, it's really complicated and confusing navigating the shipping and customs end of things, and the entire process can be both confusing and overwhelming. That's what's kind of cool about Michael's idea, is all he had to do was contact printers in the USA. He could communicate with them easily in English. The shipping fees for his products were reasonable as they weren't being shipped from outside the USA, and the amount he had to order wasn't that restrictive. Try thinking outside the box when product sourcing. As I've been saying a lot lately, not everything has to come from Alibaba or China. This kind of reminds me of a video I made a while back about making your own drinking game by having cards printed with local printers and using those to print up the decks. If I can find that video, I'll post it in the description box below for you guys. Anyhow, finding the printer was the most challenging part. Finding printers to print post-it notes is easy, but the challenge Michael faced is because each note needed to have a different quote. Only a handful of printers in the country are set up to be able to do that. So Michael eventually found a printer in Minnesota who could get the job done, and he then had his finished product. Michael launched a Shopify website and got his product into 20 different gift shops on the East Coast. Now, how did he do it, you ask? Simply by asking, will you carry my product? He was pounding the pavement, visiting local gift shops, showing them his product, and asking them if they would carry it. Michael spent nights and weekends working on his site and getting more retail businesses to carry his product, and soon enough he had a good list of both consumer and business customers. For the first 18 months of his business, Michael didn't take a salary. He invested all the money back into the business. Now that this business is profitable with an annual revenue of over $40,000, he takes a modest salary and reinvests the rest. He started a couple other businesses, a donut business and a soda business, but he's also expanding his line of Post-it products. If you click the Amazon link on his website, you can see all his other products. I thought it was pretty smart how he rolled out the Bible quote sticky notes. If people like the concept of sticky notes or sticky quotes, it only stands to, regarding business, it only stands to reason that religious people would also like them with Bible quotes. There's a million different avenues you could expand this product into. You could do positive reinforcement or self-esteem quotes, recipes. The possibilities really are endless. Through the process of starting this business, Michael learned what's important and what isn't. Demonstrating concept is the most important, asking a customer what they care about. This has informed him of both his price point and his packaging. He also said surrounding himself with mentors and like-minded people was helpful as well. Michael had several mentors, which some of who were his college professors, and others were people from a local entrepreneurship club. And along with that point, I was recently on meetup.com looking for some local entrepreneurship clubs and meetups. And I would definitely encourage you guys to do the same. But one particular one I found, the girl running the entrepreneur meetup actually is the creator of a pretty well-known, pretty well-rated Amazon bag and backpack line company. And her business was actually funded by a pretty famous YouTube entrepreneur. And she's hosting a meetup right in my area. So you never know who you're going to meet at these things. You can definitely make some good connections, find some good colleagues, find some good mentors. And I highly suggest you guys checking out meetup.com for not only business stuff, but really any of your interests. One thing that Michael said isn't important is patents. Now, obviously, I don't think we want to infringe on other people's patents. That could end your business and be very costly for you. But I think the point he was trying to make is that some people spend thousands of dollars and waste years of time focusing on patent research, and all the while get passed up by another company who just presses forward. A $100 million idea is worth nothing in your head. I typically refer to this concept as asking for forgiveness rather than permission, and if I recall, I think we had another side hustle story where somebody was using somebody else's logo or something, got the business off the ground, and later came to an agreement with them over royalties or something like that. But sometimes it is better to ask for forgiveness rather than permission. For now, Michael's career in finance is on hold. He's focusing on sticky quotes, and he's having a good time while making money doing it. He may wind up going into a more traditional career down the road, but for now, he's focused on his side hustle, which is sure to stick around. I think one other important thing to note about this business is proof of concept, and here's my thoughts on proof of concept. If you're going to invest a good amount of money into something, sometimes it's smart to do a proof of concept or vet the idea before pressing forward. That said, I think one of the benefits of side hustles is it can sometimes alleviate the need to prove the concept. Oftentimes, side hustles can get up and running in a matter of days or weeks in your free time. You can often get started with little to no money, or even no money. So sometimes there isn't really a need to prove the concept, because if your idea fails, you're not out much. You're out very little time and very little money, and you can very easily move on to something else. Anyhow, guys, that is today's episode of Side Hustle Tuesdays. I hope you guys enjoyed episode 64. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please share it on social media. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please click that subscribe button below. I'm really grinding it out, trying to hit that 100,000 subscribers and get a silver play button. Anyhow, guys, until next time, this is Rules for Rebels and Side Hustle Tuesdays, signing out.